Producer Adi Shankar created the Power Rangers Bootleg, a dark and gritty sensationalized debut of the children's franchise. This take now featured characters that suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, engage in sexual content, involve drug use, a post-apocalyptic atmosphere, violence, and bloody gore. As a result, this latest entry in Shankar's Bootleg universe quickly attained unwanted attention from the creators of the Power Rangers franchise. Controversy arose after legal representatives for Haim Saban, copyright holder of the Power Rangers franchise, began threatening cease and desists, copyright claims to YouTube and Vimeo, and threatened further legal action against producer Adi Shankar. Yet on Friday, February 27th, Saban relented and both parties ended the dispute, allowing the videos to resume streaming online. So how is it that YouTube and Vimeo pulled the video only to have it republished on Friday? Was this fair use or copyright infringement? Why would Saban agree to a settlement after threat of legal repercussions? Let's start with the publication and removal on YouTube and Vimeo. Under YouTube and Vimeo's terms of use, and in accordance with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, copyright holders or authorized agents can submit infringement claims against user-generated content. Enacted in 1998, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or the DMCA, outlines federal rules regarding digital intellectual property issues and outlines remedies for infringement, such as a process for removal. A YouTube spokesperson told Deadline that when a copyright holder notifies us of a video that infringes their copyright, we remove the content promptly in accordance with the law. It's important to note that YouTube and Vimeo typically acquiesce regardless of the claim's validity without contestation or review by administrators. But why is the policy in place, and is it necessary? Well, yes, it is, because if the content is found to be an infringement, liability could extend to the corporate entities hosting the video itself, and not just to the user. So it is in YouTube and Vimeo's best interest to level the process onto the claimant and the user. Plus, they are a company and not a court of law, where fair use determination would be properly argued and assessed. But isn't parody and commentary protected under fair use? Sure. In fact, according to the Copyright Act of 1976, the reproduction of copyrighted works for the purpose of criticism and comment is protected under Section 107. But the question is, does the production fall under fair use? Is it parody? Is it commentary? The common defense against alleged infringement is that of the fair use doctrine. Well, what is it? In essence, it's a judicial mechanism that guides the courts in determining whether a work infringes upon copyright and consists of a four-pronged test to determine as such by examining the following. Number 1. What is the exact purpose of the use? Is it to make money and be commercial, or is it solely for non-profit educational purposes? Number 2. What is the specific nature of the copyrighted work? Is it a parody, a commentary, news reporting? What is it? Number 3, how much of the copyright work was used, and was it of a substantial amount? Number 4, what is the potential impact on the copyright holder's market or brand value? But truthfully, determining the fine line for fair use is tricky at best. According to the U.S. Copyright Office, the distinction between what is fair use and what is infringement in a particular case will not always be clear or easily defined. There is no specific number of words, lines, or notes that may safely be taken without permission. Recently, the Center for Social Media and Washington School of Law at American University condensed the four prongs into 2 questions for easier understanding. Number 1, does use of the copyrighted material add value or repurpose the work for a new audience? Number 2, was the amount of material appropriate? It est, was no more used than was needed to make your point. Thus, if we were to do an examination of the issue on its face, it would meet the criteria of parts 1 through 3. No commercial intent can be directly established. It's clearly a commentary against the premise of teenagers being inducted to fight space aliens and protect the world, and examining what would realistically happen after that, and if the villains won, no less. No substantial amount of the original work was used. The production was predominantly of original material and used no more than what you might see in an SNL skit, and a number of big-budget, unauthorized fan creations have already been published over the years on various video sharing platforms. The issue is with criteria number 4, the impact on the copyright holder's brand, which brings us to the settlement between the 2 parties. Haim Saban's position for seeking litigation, at least from what's been reported or publicly disclosed, was the concern over brand confusion. The position effectively concerns that considering the high production value, would a reasonable person assume that the production may have possibly been an official authorized release? Saban Entertainment's Power Rangers franchise is geared towards children. Additionally, it could be argued that Kahn and Shankar had a complete disregard for the consequences or effectual impact on the franchise's audience because of the original statement upon release. I think the trick that I really wanted to do with this was to make that dark and gritty version that everybody keeps talking about, but really do it. Really see if I could totally accomplish it with essentially a really incredibly silly property. However, Shankar could come back and say that he was only saying that for PR reasons to energize his specific fan base, which would then extend the argument on the filmmaker's side of repurposing the original work for a new audience. Clearly, it would have been an interesting dispute. So why did the parties settle? It is believed by many that Haim Saban settled because of public pressure and alienation of the fan base. In an interview with IO9, the director states, "In a nutshell, the internet screamed so loud everyone around the world heard it." The litigious nature of Haim Saban has been well documented throughout the years. Additionally, it was known that Saban and Lionsgate had a film adaptation of the franchise in development. Thus, many have speculated that the actual onslaught against the filmmakers was not for valid reasons, but instead to protect profits. But no matter the reason, this recent legal saber-rattling and the resulting public outcry did hurt the brand, and definitely turned some fans against the franchise.